Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, folks, back to Dominant Mets Nation. And you gotta love it. You got to love the way our New York Mets are playing. They are playing inspired baseball. Tonight, absolutely pummeling the Nationals. And the Nationals, as mentioned on the broadcast, are they're no walk in the park. They actually have a very decent record. I think against the Braves, they are 5-7 or almost 500. We have pummeled them. We're 9-2 against the Nationals this year, taking care of business. I mean, throughout this game, everything that I said the Mets need to do tonight, they did. Mitchell Parker was a very beatable pitcher. We pummeled him last time. Tonight, going from the first inning, we were taking pitches, we were working Mitchell Parker, and I knew I just had a good feeling. McGill, oh my God, Magical McGill showed up again. McGill tonight, another perfect performance, and guys stepping up left and right. Acuna, Pete Alonso stepped up. I mean, it was such a great game. Alvarez is looking like he has his swing going. Vientos, even though he didn't have any hits today, his swing looks like it's a lot more on track. He missed about 3 or 4 balls. He hit 3 balls to the warning track. So Vientos is very close. Martinez, not so much. But folks, as this game was transpiring, I'm looking at my phone. I'm saying, okay, what is going on with the Braves? And I'm seeing, okay, the Braves, they're winning. All right. So the Mets, they'll be one game up. And then all of a sudden, at the end of the game, you see the Braves actually lost. I'm like, oh my God, the Braves lost? Wow, okay, this is amazing. Now we jump 2 games up with 11 games left. Insane right now. Like, I'm figuring this out. If we go 6-5, just for the Braves to beat us, they have to go 9-2. So we put ourselves in prime position to make the playoffs. Just got to continue to be consistent, take this game tomorrow, and then we just keep going forward. Honestly, I want to take this momentum. We have our whole rotation from top to bottom pitching well. Now we have our lineup. Our lineup could be jump started. We got the guys going. Hopefully we'll get Nimmo going. Hopefully we'll get Nimmo in. But we honestly, I'm so excited. Hey Richard, what is going on? Tim, what's going on? I'm sure you guys are all feeling good tonight. I mean, after this win, and last night, if whoever was here in our live stream, I would say that it was positive, but also concerning because the lineup wasn't performing. And today, going against Mitchell Parker, I highlighted it last night. I said last time we played Parker, we scored 5 runs. He's a lefty. This is a game where Pete should get going. Lineup should get going. Today, Mendoza put an all-righty lineup, and they were saying on the broadcast, that's the first time we've done that since 2019. Very interesting. But we put the pressure on from the very, very first inning. In the very first inning, Iglesias, and this is what a leadoff man does. In the bottom of the first inning, first at bat, Iglesias makes Parker throw 7 pitches. He ended up hitting the ball to the second baseman. It was a 4-3 put out, but that was big. You make the pitcher work. And that's what I was saying we didn't do yesterday against Irvin, the guy that we made look like Cy Young. Today was different. And I got to say, right from the very first inning, and this is when I start to give props. In the top of the first inning, and we're still in the first inning, Alonso made a great diving stop. It was a ball hit by their number 4 hitter. It was a ball pit to Alonso's right. And after making a couple boneheaded plays yesterday, right off the bat, Alonso was very quick. He made a nice diving stop, and it could have been a potential rally starter because Abrams was already on base. He had a leadoff hit. So it was just a tone-setting play. So that was extremely good to see. So, but if you look up and down the entire lineup, like we did phenomenal. Iglesias, 3 hits. Marte, 2 hits. Marte looked phenomenal today. Alonso, 3 hits. Vientos, like I said, even though he had 0 hits, he took good swings. He's going to get going. Taylor, 2 hits. Martinez, I said, we got to get him going. Alvarez had 1 big hit. He had that big home run. And literally he smoked the ball. Alvarez smoked the ball. It was above the strike zone. And it just shows you how strong he is. He's got 3 home runs in the last week. So right at the perfect time, Francisco Alvarez is getting it going. Perfect. And Acuna at the end of the lineup. You saw Acuna in the 3rd inning. He made that error, right? Most players would have put their head down and they would have sulked the rest of the game, But this guy, he's different. I don't care what his minor league numbers are. You see talent. You see tools right in front of you. Right off the bat, we know the guy's a speed demon. He's going to cause all this havoc on the bases. But what I like is his mentality. I like his confidence. He's got an air of confidence exuding from him. Right after he makes that error, and that was the error where a ball was hit to Vientos. Vientos charged the ball at 3rd base, and he threw the ball to second, and he tried to get the cutoff. He should have got it. It was a low throw, but Acuna should have secured it with 2 hands. He didn't, and, luckily, the Nationals only got 1 run in that inning. But the very next inning, or the bottom half of that inning, Acuna laced a double. And that says so much about the young man. For him to be able to put that negative play that just happened 20 minutes earlier, for him to focus and have the confidence to get us going really says a lot. And I feel 100% that is what motivated our entire team. Let's go. The young kid, he smoked the ball. That's what happened. When you have that first breakout hit, and that's what Lindor has done so many times this year, you get the guys going. You inspire the boys. And that's exactly what Acuna did in the 3rd inning by lacing that double. Pete Alonso would come up. He didn't hit it hard. He hit a little bloop single behind Joey Gallo. But, at the time he came up, it was bases loaded. How many times have we seen Pete with bases loaded? I wrote on my scorecard, he's either going to hit in a double play or he's going to strike out. And then I'm like, okay, you know what? It's better for him to strike out. I'm literally saying, don't hit into a double play, strike out. But luckily, he gets a nice bloop hit, 2 RBIs right then and there, and that gets Pete going. Earlier on today, somebody asked me, and they go, what do you make of Mark Vientos and his slump? He's in a very deep slump. You got Martinez in a slump. What do you make about our lineup being in a slump? Nimmo being in a slump? And I said plainly this, and all of us who have either played baseball or watched baseball, we know this. All throughout time, even the most legendary players get into hitting slumps. And a lot of these hitting slumps are mental. They're mental. Once you get your mental state of mind in the right place, you can do that by making a good swings, making good contact, having a good, strong at bat. That you get that mental state back, and it clicks. And I see it right away. You could see what Alonso looks like now. He's clicking. He's rolling. He got that home run, and I just feel so good. I feel so good to see our guys going. And I said a lot of negative things about Alonso. It's not because I don't like the guy. I love the guy. I expect a lot from Alonso. And I mention this every single stream. My goal is to win the World Series. So I want our team to continue to get better, continue to improve. From yesterday to today, we improve. Wholeheartedly, we improve from the offensive end. Pitching, we continue to pitch games. Our starting pitchers in September have almost a sub-2 earned average. So our starting pitchers are doing the job. From Manaea to McGill to Peterson, Severino, we are doing the job. And I mean, if you look at this, right? If this game was a couple weeks ago, if it was mid-August when we were in the dog days of August, it could have been a disaster. That third inning was the key to this game. That was the turning point. That was when, are we gonna choose to play like a crappy team, or are we gonna play like the new team? Because we are a new team now. Somebody also said our record against the Brewers since 2022 and 2017, we are horrible. That's most likely going to be our first round matchup. My response to that is we are a completely different team now than even 2 or 3 months ago. We are completely different. So in that third inning, McGill's sinker was working, his cutter was working, but in the first batter in the top of the third inning to Young, he walked Young. So I'm like, oh no, that's horrible. Then on the next pitch, next play, that's when the Nationals hitter hit that dribbler to Vientos, and Vientos threw it to Acuna, and Acuna booted it. Acuna didn't catch the ball. So at that time, it's first and second, no outs. So we got ourselves out of a big jam. Luckily, the Nationals, like I mentioned, only scored 1 run, but that really set us up. And I always like to see how a team responds. In the bottom of the third inning, Bader comes up, patient, again, approach. Bader walks. Second batter, Acuna, that's when he laced the double. So now you have Iglesias up, Iglesias up. He hits the ball to Gallo. That's when Gallo fumbles the ball. So Iglesias is safe. Marte is up right now. Marte was up first and third. He's patient. He walks, and that set up Alonso to have that little bloop hit for the 2 RBIs. But, we are doing really, really well at working the pitcher. Yesterday, we didn't do that. We did not work the pitcher. Today, we did work the pitcher. Even the outs we made were productive at outs. In the third inning, Mark Vientos, still in a slump. He hit a sac fly deep to right field, got the run in. That's what you do. You move runners over. You make productive outs. You have long at-bats that tire the opposing pitcher. This is what winning teams do. And tonight, we acted like a winning team, a team that I think can continue to do damage. Regardless, we were playing the Nationals. We played the Phillies tough over the weekend too. So I have a lot of confidence that no matter who this team is playing, we will rise to the occasion. Remember, the Braves were the team that had the easy schedule in September, yet we have the better record. We are 2 games above the Braves right now, and we are clicking on all cylinders. Hey, Richard. All right, so you think the Padres have a better offense? I know the Padres do have a good offense, and I don't like to put any team down or underestimate any team. That's not what I think is going to be productive. I think the best approach right now is to take, we're taking 1 game at a time, right? So I don't know if we're going to play the Padres, but if we do match up against the Padres, I have confidence in this team because of what we've overcome. any situation this entire year we've overcome. And right now, we are in the midst of overcoming missing our MVP. Let's not forget, we're without Francisco Lindor. 3 days ago, I was reading every single article that said Mets are done. Typical Mets. Losing Francisco Lindor, the season is over. So then I did a video and I said, no, these are the reasons why this year is different. This is the reason why we are going to get through this. And the first thing I said is we've been dealing with adversity the whole year and overcoming it. Again, this national series without Lindor is another example of how we are overcoming adversity. Number 2, culture. This team, you could see the magic in the dugout. We have a completely different culture. Iglesias putting his arms around the players. Francisco Alvarez hugging all the coaches. Angel ACUNA hugging and talking to Carlos Mendoza during the game. This is good stuff. Pete Alonso, the way he treats everybody running to them. He's got a great relationship. Pete Alonso. Oh, and this is actually pretty good. They had a meeting the other day, and for anybody who haven't heard this, right after Lindor went down, the Mets had a team meeting. President, manager, and Pete Alonso all spoke to the team. Pete Alonso basically rallied the troops, and that's what I want to see from Mr. Alonso. I want him to be the leader I know he could be. I want him to be the beast I know he can be. I think the reason why he has struggled is, I think it's a mental thing. Again, I don't know if he's lost confidence, but he is a beast. A beast. He's a guy last year that was on pace to hit 60 home runs before he got hurt. So once he turns it up to that next level, hopefully this game today, having 5 RBIs, 3 hits, that gets him going because, right now we desperately need a guy without Lindor. And you know what? If we keep winning and we keep spreading the distance between us and the Braves, that gives Lindor more and more time to get right. There's not going to be pressure on Lindor like, oh, you got to be here on Philly. If we keep expanding the lead, I think, hey, why not? If you got a 3-game buffer, that's fine. Don't bring him back unless, we're 2 games up. And, so I think it's all good right now. It is all good. Yeah, I would absolutely love the first wild card. I would love the first wild card. It's going to be tough. It is going to be tough right now. I mean, right now, with 3 games behind the Padres, with 3 games in the loss column, the Padres right now, what's going on with them? Okay, so the Padres are losing. The Padres are losing right now 2-0 to the Astros. So if the Astros can hold on, that means we would slide 2 games back of the Padres. So you know what? It's feasible. It is still feasible. We have to continue to take care of business. Tomorrow we have a very big game, and just keep taking advantage of the Nationals. Yeah, this is, Richard, you're saying we can't beat you, Darvish. Like I said, we're a different team right now. We're a different team, a different mentality. And you, Darvish, isn't he? Yeah, and Joe Musgrove. Yeah, you're right. Those 2 guys we have had our battles with, but those guys are older. Musgrove, hasn't had the best year, so we should be able to take advantage of his weaknesses. He's dealt with injuries. We have a different unit this year. We really do. It really stinks that, a guy like, ACUNA, I love ACUNA. I mean, I can't really think of enough good adjectives to say about this guy. And for, those minor league numbers not being there, there are players out there that don't have these mega minor league numbers, but they still, when they come to the major leagues, they have the talent and the tools. And then they're just, they step up. Like, you could tell that he's got the pedigree. I mean, this guy's got a next level type of confidence, And I love to see that. Okay, so I'm looking at the matchup that the Mets have for tomorrow. So tomorrow's going to be the final game of the series, and it's going to be Jose Quintana. Jose Quintana has been very good the last four outings. Since August 20th, he's had four good outings in a row. So, good. Hopefully he keeps it up. And he's going up against the lefty, DJ Hers. DJ Hers is 4-7 with a 3.7 ERA. He's got 98 strikeouts. So that is who we're going up against tomorrow. In the last 7 games, hers has been very good. He's actually 2-3 with a 2.9 ERA. I would say that this has been their best overall pitcher. Hers is only 23 years old, so he's a very young guy. He's on a different level than the pitcher that we face today. The pitcher that we face today, I said, it's got to be our team getting going against him. He's a very hittable pitcher. Hers is, I'm not saying he's great, but he's a lot better than Mitchell Parker. But still, nonetheless, he's a lefty. We should still do damage against him. He's a young guy. He doesn't have much experience. You got to do the same thing we did today. Right off the bat, you make him work. You make him throw pitches. You get to him early and you knock him out of the game. Same strategy that we did today. That's a winning formula. That's what we got to do. We have experienced veteran hitters. And Luis Angel ACUNA, who is our young guy, I mean, he looks like a veteran, so that's good too. What's up, Daniel? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. All right, so let's see. Okay, so I mean, we got 11 games left. We got one game, obviously, tomorrow against the Nationals. Thursday, we start another series with the Phillies, and this is going to be a 4-game series. This is the last series that we play at home, so we play the Phillies at home. I like a little revenge. I like to take 3 out of 4. Take 3 out of 4 from the Phillies. So you take one tomorrow, that gets us to 84 wins. Then you take 3 from the Phillies, that gets us to 87 wins. And then we got 6 games left. We got 6 games left. Even if you take 3 out of 6, so let's say we take 2 out of 3 from Atlanta, and we take, all right, and let's just say that Milwaukee takes 2 out of 3. I don't think that's going to happen, but let's just say we get to 90 wins. So we get to 90 wins. Atlanta would have to literally go 10-1 to beat us. They would have to go 10-1 to get to get to 91 wins. So that just kind of really goes to show you that, if we get to that 90-win margin, Atlanta would literally have to be perfect, So we could put them out of misery. We could actually, we could put them out of misery. Hopefully that's the case. I'm hoping we take, at least 2 games from the Phillies. That's what we have to do. But you never know what happens with baseball. The good thing is we have the momentum. We certainly have the momentum. And so getting back to that meeting, so if there was an article today, it said Mets Pete Alonso leads team meeting amid Lindor injury playoff push. This may be Alonso's final season with the Mets since he is scheduled to hit free agency this offseason, but he is reportedly taking a leadership role ahead of the team's playoff push. I mean, when I read that, I kind of say, shouldn't he already have a leadership role? I hope this is not him all of a sudden taking one, but I got to assume that he's just doing extra right now. So Joel Sherman of the New York Post reported President of Baseball Operations David Stearns and manager Carlos Mendoza called a team meeting Monday to discuss Francisco Lindor's back injury and how the team would respond. It was at that meeting that Alonso spoke with passion that stood out when discussing how important it is for the team to finish the regular season on a high note and make the playoffs, per Joel Sherman. The slugger was focused on how much he wants to celebrate with his teammates since he has been in the playoffs just once in his career and didn't get a chance at that time. New York obviously reached the postseason in 2022, but on the final day of the regular season, we didn't win the National League East. And then we would go on to lose to the Padres in the first round. So it wasn't a successful season at all, in my opinion. Jacob deGrom, he was the only guy that got a win that year in the playoffs. We should have did more damage, but, we fell off a cliff. We fell off a cliff at the end. And you know what? Like I say this, it's all about our team getting hot at the right time. That's what it's all about. The Texas Rangers last year, it's not like they were a powerhouse coming into the season in 2023. Maybe you thought the Yankees, maybe you thought the Braves, maybe you thought the Dodgers. Nobody thought 2023 the Rangers were going to win. Same thing with the 2024 Mets. You get hot at the right time. In the second half of this year, nobody has a better record than our New York Mets. So we have been getting hotter and hotter and hotter. We just recently had a 9-game winning streak. So I got to say, we are hot. Now, as our starting pitching was hot. And this is why I'm so excited tonight, because a lot of guys who have been struggling are starting to produce. Alvarez, Alonso, Starling Marte is looking like his at-bats are getting better. And then Vientos, even though I mentioned this earlier, he didn't have any hits, but it looks like his at-bats are getting better. So Lindor, the most recent thing Lindor is saying, and he keeps saying this, Lindor said that he should be back before the playoffs following the MRI, but most prognosticators, most people familiar with this situation are saying the target date is the first game of the Philly series. I'm saying if we continue to build this lead, for example, if we win tomorrow and Atlanta loses, I don't think they will rush him back for the first game. If we lose tomorrow and it's like a 1-game difference, then we're more likely to see Lindor on that first day. But I'd want to err with caution. If we have that luxury, err with caution. What's up, Juan? Yeah, big Pepe Alonso. Alonso played today. Alonso played today like I wanted to see Alonso play in a very long time. He played with passion. He played with energy. He played with fire. He played like he should have been playing. He played like he should have been playing on the defensive end and the offensive end. That blue pit is what got him going. That blue pit got him going today. But the whole day, you could tell he was in a different mental space. And then, the article that I just kind of read to you, it shows he's saying right now, guys, get on my back. I am the so-called leader. Lindor is out. Get on my back. And the polar bear had a big back today. Put the whole team on it. 5 RBIs. Great day. We have to continue to build on that. Imagine Pete Alonso all of a sudden goes to a 15 or 20 game stretch where he's hitting 1,200 OPS, where his slug, he starts to slug. Pete Alonso has been hitting more in the last 10 games, but he hasn't been hitting too many home runs. If he starts getting his power going, I mean, this offense takes it to the next level. And now you got a guy like Acuna who looks like he could be a really big stud. I mean, it's exciting. It is exciting. And we don't have Vientos or Nimmo going yet. And forget about, JD Martinez. What if you get that guy going? Our offense is dynamic. Man, I hope everybody out there is excited as I am. I mean, how could you not be? How could you not be? Our team is the hottest team in baseball. I wholeheartedly believe that. And, I believe that no matter who we're going to face, it's going to be tough, but we have the potential this year to beat any team. We have basically dealt with every situation. So, and you got to, this starts from the top. I've been saying this for the last month. This turnaround in culture starts from Stearns, Mendoza on up. These guys have really done a good job of injecting a different energy, a different vibe, a different set of expectation. The expectation right now is to win. To win. No matter who we have healthy, it is to win. We don't have Senga. We never had Senga. I mean, there are so many damaging blows that in years past, we didn't have DeGrom. Oh, the season's over. We don't have DeGrom. I mean, think about this, folks. We haven't had our ace the whole year. Our ace only pitched 5 innings against the Braves, and that could have derailed the season. When he came back, that could have been the blow. But no, this team gets better, stronger, and more resilient each and every incident. So, this Lindor thing has made us tougher. Now we discover the potential talent of Acuna going forward. And that makes, I got to say, that makes me feel a lot better. Yeah. I mean, Alonso is one of these special guys in baseball. And that's why I got him on him a lot, because there's very few guys who could do the damage he did. Like, I'll give you an example. So Alonso has about 560 at-bats coming into today's game. 560 at-bats is the same amount of at-bats he had last year. Last year, in 560 at-bats, he had 46 home runs. This year, he had 32. So he's well below last year's home run pace. So, me comparing him to past production, I was a bit disappointed. But that being said, how much potential Pete Alonso has to get hot and carry the team. Last year and the year before that, how many times since 2019 did we win the game 3-2, 4-2 because Alonso hit a home run? There were so many big home runs this man has hit. This year, it's been different. They put a graphic on the screen and said that with runners in scoring position, Alonso's batting average was 225. And with runners on base, so not necessarily with runners in scoring position, so runners on base, could be first base, his batting average was 207. That is well below his career batting average. Pete has been a lot more clutch than, was represented in this year. So there's so much potential for this guy to do major damage. And he knows it. The whole team knows it. And I just, having that threat in the middle of the lineup is an extremely huge luxury. And this is actually a very underrated quote, Juan, because the Mets have played great defense. They really have. From Bader up the middle to Lindor when he's healthy. Even Pete. Pete this year, I think he has the least errors at first base that he's had in his whole career. And his fielding percentage is at his highest too. So even Pete, despite having a not his best offensive year, is still doing pretty well defensively. Second base, Iglesias, he's been a godsend. And the outfield, you have multiple center fielders out there, whether it's Nimmo and left, you have center fielder, Bader, Taylor, you got great guys out there. I'm really impressed with the defense. And Alvarez behind the plate. Alvarez, when he's got an uncanny knack for when he's playing for the team to win. No matter if he's hitting or not, the team has a great winning percentage when Alvarez is out there. That's why when Alvarez was hurt, everybody was saying, put Torrens in. He's decent, put Torrens in. He's got a good arm. Why were we playing Alvarez when he was clearly hurt? The thing is, he does the intangibles. We still win despite him not hitting, on the pace he hit last year. Now he's able to be in there and he's able to hit. That, and we were winning when he wasn't hitting. His presence in the game was enough, but now his presence is going to be there and he's going to hit. So that's got to make you extremely excited. Extremely excited. And for, another thing about Alvarez, for him to be a young catcher and for him to control the pitching staff and call these games and to have all these veteran pitchers to love throwing to him, I mean, he's done a great job. You give credit to like Manaea, you give credit to Peterson, you give credit to Severino, but when Alvarez is throwing, the starting pitcher's ERA are in the mid-2s. When they are throwing to Torrens, their ERA is in the 4s, right? So there is a difference. Alvarez catches these games differently. So you got to give Alvarez a lot of credit too, for even helping these pitchers transform or take it to the next level. And there is actually one more factor that we have to kind of weigh in this whole situation. The Atlanta Braves and how they are performing down the stretch. This is not your Atlanta Braves team of the past. They are crumbling before our very eyes, and they've had a very manageable schedule, yet they are still not able to squeak these wins out. Today they were winning, and they lost to a Reds team. I mean, I want to beat them. I love to take 3 games. It would be a disaster if we lose 2 out of 3 to them. It would be a disaster. It might not even matter. We might have that big of a lead, but the Braves are not the Braves team of the past. And I think it would be such a monumental boost going into the playoffs if we could slay the Braves before we go into the playoffs. That will be the first test. And that, I truly believe, will catapult us into the playoffs. So I don't care if we need those games or not. I want to sweep the Braves. At the very least 2 out of 3, but you have to win that series. That is such a good mental boost to the entire club. You slay the Braves. I like to take out the Padres too, but we may have our chance. We probably will have our chance in the future. But, those 2 teams, I want revenge. I want revenge for 2022. No, absolutely not. I 100% agree, Richard. Torrens is not your other quote up. Torrens is not a slouch. He's not a slouch. He's a great, backup catcher. And in today's day, you need 2 catchers. Repeat, you need 2 catchers. Having a great starting catcher is phenomenal. But we've seen with the Braves throughout the years, having Darno as their backup catcher, you need 2 catchers. The Phillies have 2 catchers. The Braves have 2 catchers. Good teams have 2 catchers. So Torrens as a backup is phenomenal. Years ago, we would have loved if Kevin Parada would have developed into that guy, but Kevin Parada seems to have, his career has gone south, unfortunately. And your other comment about Torrens, he throws out more runners. He has a phenomenal rocket arm. I do agree with that. But the fact of the matter is, the pitchers, when they throw to Alvarez, their ERA is almost 2 full runs less. So the results, the proof is in the pudding. Pitchers love throwing to Alvarez. And then you get Alvarez back going. Phenomenal combination. Hey, Robbie, what's good tonight? Half game behind Arizona, one game in the loss column. So, and like I've been saying the last couple nights, you want as many avenues available, open to you. So we had 2 game lead on the Braves, but just in case, you love to gain as much ground on any team as possible. Yep. Same thing Robbie said. Yep. We might catch the D backs. I honestly think we will catch and pass the D backs. Very big note. The D backs play the Padres the last series. So the Padres sweep the D backs. We have a huge opportunity to gain a couple games. So, there is a lot of opportunity for things to swing in the last 3 games. We are actually very lucky that the Padres are playing the D backs. What's up, Will? So Alvarez's bat has stunk this year. If you compare him to his production early on last year early on, the guy was a phenom with on the offensive side. But here's the deal: like in the last couple weeks, probably the last 2 weeks, he's swinging the bat a lot better. He is swinging the bat a lot better. Out of his 9 home runs, he's got 3 home runs in the last 10 days or so. So he's got power now. He hasn't had power the entire year. I surmise that he's actually, for the first time in probably 2 months, starting to get healthy. He's starting to get healthy. For the longest time, the only pitch that he was able to handle was the high fastball on the top of the zone. Now I see him hitting pitches inside. I see him hitting pitches on the outside part of the plate. When Alvarez is really right, when he's really 100% right, is when he starts going opposite field with ease. He's a guy that could go right center field, hit that gap easy, but he's trying to pull everything. His approach is off, and it's because I believe he was injured. He's starting to get healthy now. If you start seeing him go opposite field, you'll know he is completely healthy. He hasn't done that yet. Today, for example, there was a situation where the starting pitcher threw a ball on the outside part of the plate. Alvarez tried to pull the ball. Should have went oppo, grounded into a double play. When he gets over that hurdle, you're going to see the Alvarez that we saw early on and last year. We haven't seen that yet. Yep, just like I was saying, I think he was 100% hurt, but the power surge and the way he's attacking these pitchers are showing me that he is getting healthier. Yeah, Richard. Yeah, so Robbie, we can't split with them. It's a 3 game series with the Braves, but if we take 2 out of 3, the season is essentially over. Over for the Braves if we take 2 out of 3. The Braves would literally have to win all of their games to pass us if we take 2 out of 3. So we are in a very good situation right now. We have to capitalize this. And I say this is a time right now. Forget about the Braves. We have to take it 1 game at a time and keep getting our team better for the playoffs, better for every single round. Like I said, our goal, win the World Series. Win the World Series. At least at the end of this year, if we go on a great run and we don't win the World Series, but we get to the NL championship game, we compete. We look that much more of an attractive destination for incoming free agents. So there's a lot of positivity to come with our team's growth. Then we also have about $150 million coming off of this year's book. So we have a lot of dough, we have a lot of bread, a lot of money to spend in the offseason, which I'm very excited about. And it looks like Alonso's trying to get some of that money with his performances, and I don't blame him. I really don't blame him. I'd love to see Alonso get hot for the playoffs. I would love that. I would love to abuse the Phillies. You know what? The Phillies, whoever saw my videos last week, I said they were overrated. I still 100% believe that. I don't think they are that good. That's why I think we have an excellent opportunity to go far in the playoffs. I don't think any team is that dominant this year. The whole landscape of the NL Major League Baseball is wide open, wide open. Even the Yankees, they're the second best team in all of MLB, according to ESPN. We pummeled them this year. The Phillies, we just played them. They barely beat us. The only game that was a blowout was the game we blew them out on Friday night. So we have the potential to do very well against anybody in any series. So I'm very excited about the playoffs and continue to build. We have to continue to build. I love to take 3 out of 4 and set the tone against the Phillies. We have the ability to do that. Get Lindor healthy. Now, Lindor and Acuna. It looks like, if Acuna stays hot, how can you take Acuna out when Lindor comes back? When Lindor comes back, you're probably going to see Lindor obviously play shortstop, but you're going to see Acuna. I can't see Acuna playing over Iglesias. He's as hot as hell, but you're probably going to see Acuna go somewhere in the outfield. I have to imagine if Acuna stays this hot, you got to keep his bat in the lineup no matter what. It's four. Yeah, we have 4 games with Phillies, the 4 games with the Phillies, and we have 3 games with the Braves and 3 games with the Brewers, and 1 game left with the Nationals tomorrow. So that's a schedule: 1 game with the Nationals, 4 games with the Phillies, 3 games with the Braves, and 3 games with the Brewers. 11 games left. 11 games left. We have what is it? All right, so we have 11 games left. We're 83 and 68. 83 and 68. Everybody wanted to get to that 90 game mark. So that would get us going 7-4 down the stretch. If we go 7-4 down the stretch, Atlanta has to get to 91 wins to get to go above us. That means they have to go 10-1, 10-1. So I think, more likely, more realistically, I think we're going to get to 89 wins. But 89 wins, I think, is going to be well more than enough, especially if we defeat Atlanta 2 out of 3 games. But the more wins, the better. The more wins, the better. But I just want to come up with that bottom number for us to secure a playoff spot. Yeah, and you mentioned that Acuna might play right. I think he might play left. Only and this is good too. Only and here's the great thing about our depth, Juan. Look, everybody was upset McNeil was getting, was hurt, right? And I feel bad for the guy. I love him to be here if he was playing well. But McNeil was hitting 240. McNeil was hitting 230. He was a jack of all trades. He could play outfield, infield, but so can Acuna. But the thing about Acuna is he's more dynamic on the base pad, and it looks like he's more dynamic as a hitter right now. So it looks like with the McNeil injury, we have essentially upgraded. We have upgraded. As crazy as that sounds, it looks like if Acuna plays this well down the stretch, we have upgraded, at least for the end of the regular season. So, I like that move. But when Lindor does come back, I could see Acuna playing either left or center field because, I think Marte's really getting it going. Marte's really getting it going. If you're probably going to have Nimmo and left, and Acuna might play center field, and then later in game, if you want to have Bader for defensive purposes. But then again, Bader's been hitting well too. This is a good problem that you would like to have. If you have everybody hitting well and productive, then you go to matchups. Then you go to matchups. But I think the best lineup right now, this is what I would say the best lineup is. You're going to have Marte in right. You're going to have Acuna in center. You're going to have Nimmo in left. You're going to have Vientos at third. You're going to have Lindor at short. You're going to have Iglesias at second. You're going to have Pete at first. And you're going to have Alvarez behind the plate. I think that is a great offensive lineup. Defensively, you can make that a little better, maybe put Bader in. But if Acuna continues this torrid start, you can't take him out of that lineup. See the energy he provides. He essentially got this offense going single-handedly today. Yeah, Will, I was thinking about that too. Pete did tonight what he has been doing all season with his bat, which gives us offense when we have big leads. But, he did, even though it wasn't a hard hit ball, he did have that big 2 RBI double in the third inning. And then he also had another hit after that. So I give him credit. I give him credit. You want to know why? Because bases loaded situation, no outs. When Pete's not right, he's either striking out or hitting into a double play. So, in baseball, you got to put the bat on the ball. He put the bat on the ball. He went oppo and it fell in. It wasn't the strongest hit. It was a 60-mile-per-hour hit, according to the gun. But I give him credit for at least not striking out and not hitting into a double play with the bases loaded. So, the bar may have been low, but it ended up getting him going. And then he got a home run when, we were up by a lot of runs. See, that may be right. I don't know Acuna's defensive capabilities in center field. I know he plays the outfield. I know he plays the infield. I don't know, how his rated is. How he would be rated as a center fielder. We know Nimmo is a known quantity. We know Bader is a known quantity. So that makes sense. If you want to play him in left and Nimmo in center, if Bader's on the bench, that's fine too. That's fine too. In fact, that probably makes more sense, because Nimmo is, the experienced center fielder. So that's a good switch right there. He's a small guy, but the kid's got a lot of power. Like, I was surprised he hit it into the second deck. His home run 420 feet away. It was a nice, easy, level swing, and that's what you gotta love about the kid. The kid has a nice, it's a nice level swing, but it's a bit violent. He's got a lot of pop behind that swing. He's going up the middle. He's going left center field. I like that swing. I think that the scouts this year, and they put Acuna as our 12th ranked prospect. Last year, he was in the top 3. This year, he dropped down to 12 or 13. I think that they really disrespected him because they looked at his minor league numbers this year, and they thought maybe he's not what he was projected to be. That's not true. I think he's a guy that when he gets to the major leagues, you're going to see a different player. And that's what we've seen thus far. And you could just see the guy's mentality. I'll say this over and over and over. You can see if a guy is mentally weak or if a guy is mentally strong. He looks like he's more like a mentally strong player. Severino and Peterson pitch Brave series. And, I give I give Mendoza credit because he's really been setting up our pitching staff for success. He really has. So, if that's the way it's set up, Severino and Peterson, let me see if I can go that far. Because a lot of times, if you go a week in advance, let's see, MLB. Yeah, Rob. I don't know. I'm looking at MLB.com. I don't see that far in the future, but so I see Tomorrow's matchup, like I mentioned, is going to be DJ Hurst versus Jose Quintana. Then the first game against the Phillies on Thursday is going to be Taijuan Walker against Severino. Then David Peterson is pitching on Friday night, and then you have Manaea pitching on Saturday. So against the Phillies, we're set up pretty well. We got Severino, Peterson, and Manaea. And then also too, the reason why I think we're in such a good situation, and it was such an underrated aspect that I don't think a lot of people realize. Like when we're going to be facing the Phillies, and the Phillies are 7, 8 games up in the NL East, even though they might be playing for seeding, they made the playoffs. They won the NL East. I think we have a lot more to play for. Like the games are not going to be as tough as one would believe a month ago. They already secured the NL East. So I think that there's really no reason why we shouldn't win 3 out of 4 of those games. We have a lot more to lose and a lot more to play for. And also with setting up the pitching, I'm sure the Phillies probably want to stay away from certain players, and so we're setting up our rotation to win every single game. They're not in that same situation as us. I want to get to Kodai Senga update momentarily, but I want to look at something with Sean Manaea. So Sean Manaea, we obviously know he's been really a godsend in the last literally 2 or 3 months. He's really taken it up. So this year he's 11-5 with a 3.26 ERA. His WHIP is 1.08, which is really good. 1.08. He's got 177 strikeouts in 171 innings. Very phenomenal. Okay, in the last 7 games that he's pitched, he's 3-0 with a 2.81 ERA, but his WHIP is .71. His WHIP, I repeat, in the last 7 games is .71. This man is allowing no hits. In 48 innings, he has allowed 24 hits. Nobody is hitting this man. And just so you know, in the 2 years DeGrom won the Cy Young, his WHIP was, I believe, in the 0.91 or 0.92. So DeGrom's WHIP in those Cy Young years was even higher than how McGill is pitching in the last 48 innings. McGill has been lights out down the stretch, lights out. Super, super impressive. Like, I expected, Manaea to transform. They said that he went to Driveline. They said that he's worked on a couple of his pitches. But if you look at Manaea, he's literally on certain pitches hitting 96, 97 on the gun. You saw Garrett Crochet a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, he's not far off from, Garrett Crochet. I know Crochet can hit 100 on the gun, but, 97 mile per hour sidearm lefty. I mean, all of a sudden, Manaea became a power pitcher. He's becoming a power pitcher lefty, and you could see how hard, how difficult he is to hit. It's a no small feat. What was that exact number? It's really no small feat in 48 innings, 24 hits. That is, even if you allow 1 hit per inning, that's pretty good. But he's allowing not even, a half a hit. That's not reality. But his WHIP is just crazy good. It just goes to show you how good he is. And I want to check something on. And then you envision this rotation and this pitching staff in the playoffs. Like, I mean, the depth on our pitching staff is insane. Insane. I'm not saying we have the best, top to bottom best pitchers, but we have different type of pitches, pitchers up and down the lineup, up and down our team. And again, I'm going to get you the Kodai Senga update soon. I'm just checking out our depth chart right now. Okay. Okay. So obviously, right now, we have a couple guys on the injured list. You have 3 starters. You have Blackburn. And Blackburn, he's not going to be pitched. He's not, unfortunately, it doesn't look like he's going to pitch the rest of the year. I think they already ruled him out. Kodai Senga, he's on the injured list. It looks like he's going to be coming back very soon. And you have Christian Scott. Christian Scott, you keep hearing mixed things, so I'm not really sure about him. So right now, as of this moment, you have Quintana, Severino, Manayer, Peterson, McGill. All those 5 guys in the last couple starts, every one of those guys has pitched very, very well. I think the last bad outing was Peterson when, not his last outing, the outing before that. But that, that was like 9 or 10 outings ago. And then in the bullpen, so, when the playoffs happen and you have Kodai Senga come back, so you're going to have Senga, you're going to have McGill, you're going to have Peterson, you're going to have Manayer, you're going to have Severino, you're going to have Quintana. So you're going to have 6 good starting options. In the pen, you're going to have Diaz, Stanek, Ottavino, Maton, Budo, Garrett, Young, Danny Young, Alex Young, and Brazaban, and Reed Garrett. I don't know why I skipped him. And then also if you have, it depending on if they go to a 4 or 5 man rotation, you might have 1 or 2 of these starters go to the pen. Then you can knock out an Ottavino. You can knock out a Brazaban. You really shore up your playoff roster with talent up and down the lineup, up and down the roster. Oh, what is this? Okay. All right. So if here. Okay, so I'm going to give you the latest Kodai Senga update, and it came from Newsday. So New York Mets pitcher Kodai Senga took a major step toward a possible return from injury on Tuesday, according to Newsday. Okay, so per Laura Albanese on social media, Senga threw a bullpen today and did some PFF drills. No word yet on what the next moves will be, but being activated in the final week of the regular season is still in play, Mendoza said. So, based on his progress, Senga looks like he will be activated in the final week. So that is huge news. I mean, this week we've got, in these last 2 days, from Monday getting the MRI results on Lindor and Tuesday getting that, huge update about Senga. I mean, we got some great news. We dodged a couple of very big bullets, and it looks like we, obviously we need Lindor, and to get a guy like Senga, a guy who, think of how crazy it was. Senga, who was out the whole year. The only 5 innings he throws, he dominates against the Braves. I mean, that really just shows you what type of mental space this man is in. Just put him on a mound, and he could just be that good. And that's what I'm excited about. What's up, Jay? Can't wait to get it on ACUNA rookie card. Honestly, I've been collecting a couple of his cards. I got but they're prospect cards. But yeah, no, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I never got to see Sid Fernandez pitch, but yeah, you're right. But Manaya is he's literally transformed into a power pitcher. 96, 97, and he hits that when he needs to. He doesn't hit that. That's not what he averages. I think he averages like 93.8 on the fastball or 94 miles per hour, but not, 94 miles per hour. That's not a slow pitch. And if he hits 97, 96 when he needs it, that's a lefty that did that 20 years ago would be Randy Johnson. Although, Randy Johnson would hit 97, 98, 99, but still, he's a guy who throws the ball hard. Oh, so those are the latest predictions. And, so the latest predictions, according, Robbie, great update because of the tiebreakers. The Mets have a 67 chance of postseason. Just so we all can put that in perspective, 3 weeks ago, the Mets had a 14%. 14%. I believe the exact number was 13.9% chance of making the playoffs. So just in 3 short weeks, 20 days, we go from 14% to 67% chance. So, I mean, a lot can change in 3 or 4 days, especially down the stretch. But right now, we are looking good. We are in prime position right now. You got like all Mets fans right now. We have to be happy. I'm excited. Like, we don't get this opportunity too often. We really don't. 2022 was our last opportunity, and we failed. We failed big time. I remember that feeling right now. I remember the feeling in 2006 when Carlos Beltran, struck out against Wainwright. I remember the failure. And it's good that we failed in 2022 because I want guys like Pete Alonso and Lindor to remember that failure. It's good that we have guys like Luis Severino who have been in the playoffs. We have a mix of experience and we have a mix of younger guys. I like what we have in this season, and we have a brand new culture from Mendoza and Stearns. I think, in my opinion, it reminds me an awful lot of the Texas Rangers and what they were able to do last year. Last year, they didn't have DeGrom. Scherzer was crappy, but still, they ended up clutch hitting and timely pitching. That's what they did. They didn't have any dominant pitchers. We're not going to have any really dominant pitchers, but we're going to have very good, solid pitchers who, like Manaya, has been dominating, but, he's not, he didn't come into the season as one of those typical aces, which maybe could be better because I'd rather be the underdog. I'd rather hit people when they don't expect it. And I think that's going to be our number one advantage, and we got the pressure all off our backs. Last year, as I remember, when we had all that pressure on us, it was a dumpster fire. We don't have the mercenaries on our team anymore. We don't have the Verlanders. We don't have the Scherzers. We have the guys who are hungry. We have the Vientoses. We have the Alvarezes. We have the Luis. We have the Acunas. We have Alonso. He's working for a contract. Everybody on this team is hungry. Manaya is hungry. He's looking for a contract. Severino is hungry. He's looking for a contract. We are in prime position because everybody, it is in their best interest to succeed. And, and with Steve Cohen, promised us a World Series, 5 years. I'm still sticking to that. Was that the same pitch? I mean, the pitch that froze Beltran in 2006, wasn't that like a nasty curve? And then the pitch that Frankel threw Barry Bonds, it was more like I know I'm trying to it was I'm trying to remember Franco's repertoire. I forget Franco's repertoire, but was it a curveball? I don't think it was a curveball. The 12-6 curveball was the one that struck out Beltran in 2006. But I don't think John Franco, he didn't have a 12-6 curveball, did he? I mean, I remember the strikeout. I just don't remember the type of the pitch. But yeah, no, I remember we had some, that was a huge strikeout against Bonds too. Yeah. I think it was more like a screwball. It looked like, I know it was one of those pitches that would look like it was going to be inside, and then it caught the inside of the plate. Yeah, Richard. So yeah, 12-6 curveball. That was definitely Wainwright. That was against Beltran. That was a nasty pitch. It was a nasty pitch. And that was tough too, because we should have won that game in 2006. Andy Chavez making that game saving home run catch, or saving us, the Cardinals robbing the Cardinals. So that's what I mean about momentum. And this year right now, that's what we have. We have all the momentum in the world. We have a team full of depth. We have a team full of very, very hungry players. This team, and the good thing about it is you have all these players playing for playing time, and you can mix and match every day depending on like matchups. I just love the situation that we're in. I really do. All right, folks, we're going to get going right now. I'm going to wrap things up, but I just want to say thank you, everybody, for all the comments. So it looks like this week I'm going to be working till like 10 o'clock every night, but I'm going to try to jump on, especially after wins. So tune in. If you're new, subscribe so you get the notifications. Ring the bell. If you didn't get a chance to like. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will talk to everyone very soon. Let's go Mets. We have a very great night tonight. Awesome night.